Welcome to the Generation Fit Podcast. I'm Coach Chris with Coach Brett. Together, we've helped hundreds of corporate men go from skinny fat, dad bod, to beach bod. Today, we talked about how to set up your corporate environment for success. And we talk about our current daily lives. All right, enjoy. Corporate desk workers, you want to set up your environment. We're going to break it down into three major parts. Okay, so for the people that work at the office most of the time, then you have people who work from home, and then you have people who travel a lot. Okay, those are the main people that we work with, and this is how we set them up for success. All right, Brett, so let's start off with the basic corporate 9-to-5ers that go to the office at least 3 times a week. What are some main things that you tell them to do and guide them through so they can be set up for losing the fat, building some muscle, having a better lifestyle?
The number one thing I try to tell people to do is just to make sure you're carrying around protein snacks, because the easiest way to propel weight loss is to reduce the amount of calories you're intaking from miscellaneous sources. Like when you're at the office and it's a long day and you're hungry, you go down to the vending machine, go down to the staff cafeteria, whatever it is, you grab yourself something quick, something easy, something that's probably a little bit higher in calories, a little too palatable, that you don't really need without getting a lot of benefit from it. And we try to just break away from that almost entirely. Having snacks with you that are healthy, protein-based, they fill the need and help get you to that next meal, an hour or two away, without having to go so far out of your diet to go and have something like, a candy bar or a bag of chips or something that's not going to help get you to where you need to go. And that's number one. It's got to be. Number two is is just diet soda. I know people don't like diet soda. I don't know why.
What a shame.
I know, right? Honestly, if you drink it, I know, initially there's that there's that turning point phase where you get into it and you start drinking it. It's not as enjoyable off the jump as full calorie soda is. Of course not. If it would be, then we would just never have full calorie soda. But once you've been drinking it for a month or two, you really don't notice the difference. And if you look at it in the grander scheme of things, if you're the kind of guy that knocks out 1 or 2 cans of soda per day, that's 250 calories. You do not need, that is doing nothing for you but keeping fat in your body. If you just take the diet soda option, reduce the calories to those to basically zero, you're going to be in a much better state after a couple of weeks. 100%, you'll see some noticeable changes just from that small change alone. Me personally, I can't drink soda. I have a very small health condition I picked up a while ago. I can't have anything carbonated. It bothers my esophagus. But when that initially happened to me, I was drinking a lot of it. And it's because I worked in the restaurant industry. There's always fountain soda around. So that's just what you do, right? You go have a quart of fountain Coca-Cola that you would sip on during service kind of thing while at work. But as soon as I couldn't do it anymore, I just started drinking water the entire time, or black coffee if I need the energy. Then I was just lost a ton of weight. I think I dropped 10 pounds over the course of a month or two, just from not having soda in my diet. It was actually kind of wild.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine. I mean, that is one of the easiest hacks. You're going to notice some of these are very common across the board. There are definitely principles in line with all of these. And you'll notice that, yes, changing liquid calories into 0 liquid calories is one of the easiest things you can do, like Brett said. And even in terms of just general environments of a 9-to-5. So being at your desk all day, what I tell people is bring a water bottle. Break that habit of needing something from the vending machine, the soda fountain. Being able to have a water bottle in front of your desk to drink it, finish it, and then you can also walk to the water fountain so you can refill it up and get some sort of movement in to remind yourself that you have to get your steps in and that you can refill and drink some water to stay hydrated, right? A lot of this you'll see is tips on triggering your brain to associate these things and bring it to a habit that we want you to elicit, right? That we want you to change without making such a big effort. Having a water bottle is one of them. You get more steps and you drink more water. Having protein snacks everywhere. I should see it in your bag. I should see it in your gym bag, your desk, every single drawer. underneath your alarm clock. I don't care where it is. It should be everywhere in your life at all times. I'm not being dramatic, so dramatic, but I am not being dramatic. This is just an easy way to be prepared at all times of any sort. What are some of your favorite protein snacks that you like and that you recommend for your clients?
For me, it's like I don't do a whole lot of protein snacks personally. When I do, it's typically going to be just like chomps, beef sticks. I love meat. I don't know what you want me to tell you. I just like having an actual protein, something that's just like super simple, and a protein stick just gets me there, right? Like that's what satisfies me. I don't have a lot of sweet cravings anymore. I kind of like trained myself out of that over like ages, so I don't need to go for the protein bars typically. Snack gets me there. Beyond that point, going for like I like protein shakes just fine. Like I'll have a protein shake in the middle of the day, just like as a drink, something that's a little more satiating than water, without having to like jump my calories up like crazy. It's like another 125, give or take, on top of whatever I was having beforehand. Helps me my macros super easy, and like honestly, the longer we go on, the better the protein shakes are becoming. Like protein shakes these days pretty much just take like milkshakes half the time, right? Like
Yeah,
so.
they're dangerous.
They are a little bit like, but if you're out here and you're just like eating your like drinking a lot of calories, just like make it a protein shake. It's like it's gonna be more filling. It's gonna keep you going, give you a good like 3 hours or so till your next meal. Only increase your calorie intake by like 100 120, which is gonna be less than a soda for sure. Uh, and yeah, it's gonna taste like chocolate. Yeah, dude, just like I swear to God, if you have like I love chocolate. I really, really do. I think last year my wife went to Germany for a week and I was cutting and she brought me back like a gigantic pile of chocolate and it kind of just ended my whole diet right there because she just had it in the house. I was like I didn't need to have like 2 pounds of chocolate in easy access right now that I can just like go and grab at will because I just like I have no self control like that if there's no barrier, like.
I agree. This actually, I mean, this leads right perfectly to it. Is basically having no snacks that are not aligned with your goals. It's basically as simple as that, actually. Which is funny because like I'm the same way with certain snacks too. But before we get into that, in terms of like protein snacks, like Brett mentioned, it's whatever you enjoy. And then some people are just like, I just don't even know what protein snacks are. Well, here are some of the fan favorites, including my own as well. So I should be sponsored one day, but Barabel's protein bar is easily one of the best ones in terms of cheapness, taste, texture, and macros. Okay? Like, I don't know how they did it, but it tastes like a candy bar. And it's 20 grams of protein, all high quality. Insane. Doesn't make any sense. Quest is another good brand. The taste is a little bit chalkier, grainier and chalkier. So a lot of my clients are like in and out about it, but it's also very clean. And then you do have lots of other bars that are out there, like One Bars. God, I can't even think on the top of my head, but there's plenty. Built Puffs are amazing. I love those for getting from Costco. That's on the protein bar side, right? These literally taste like desserts. It's kind of freaky, but having that like those everywhere scattered around your desk, your life, I'm not joking, is going to be an absolute hack. Protein shakes out there. I mean, yes, could you do the powdered ones? I just know that if you're working behind a desk, you're probably not trying to carry like a whole another meal prep kit on top of your desk, right? This is like a first barrier to entry. So easy stuff is like Fairlife, has like a bunch of proteins, whether it be Core Power, whether it be the one from Costco, I think it's called a nutritional drink or something like that. It's like 30 grams of protein for 150 calories. Insane. Absolutely insane. Tastes like chocolate milk. Unbelievable. Like it actually baffles me that it's that easy. And,
I've actually heard excellent things with the new Jocko Willink's protein shakes that he's got out there. Who had those recently? I think Nick had those, and we were talking about it. Apparently, they're amazing. They're great. They taste awesome, and they're low calorie. They have like 30 grams of protein in there. Like it's actually like an insane ratio.
there you go. There you have it. So you have Jocko Willink's. I mean, no, we're not sponsored by anybody. Look, and we have brands that we obviously do like, but just know that having these things, if you even know existed, the whole point is now you do. So now you can have these protein bars, and then you also have other side of the spectrum. So you have the jerkies. So you have Archer, Chomps, Epic, right? These great brands that do like beef jerkies and like beef bars of some sort. And then also you have chips. Like if you enjoy Doritos, like man, if you're like me who enjoyed chips, Cheez-Its, like Doritos, Lay's. They make Quest chips makes protein chips. It's insane. It tastes pretty damn close to your favorite chips. Your barbecue, chili lime, ranch. Like it doesn't make any sense to me how they're engineering stuff like this. But the whole point is, you're like, oh my god, Chris, is it healthy? It's like, well, you eating a lot of calories is probably the worst thing you could be doing. The best thing you could be doing is dropping your body fat. How are we gonna do that? Well, you might as well get your protein in while keeping your calories low. So if you're worried about that right now, nah, Like I said, we're setting up you guys for success. So how can we do it? Figure out what protein snacks you like. We just mentioned a ton, and just have those around you at all times. Okay, and also have a water bottle, so you can actually get some water and some steps in, take some breaks in between. Any other big hacks for these guys, the guys that go to the office?
I'm a huge fan of. Okay, so I'm a really big believer in that if you're an office worker, if you go to the office, you should be going to the gym either in the morning before you go to work, on the way, or on the way home from work. You should have, if you're, hey, I go to the gym 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. On those days, have your clothes packed, have your water bottle packed, have your gym bag with you, have everything you need to go, and that way you're not going to be like going home and stopping off and then doubling back to the gym after that. So this does a couple things. Number one, it saves you time. It saves you a huge amount of time, right? It's a car trip. Number two, I get stuck in my chair. I have this chair at home. It's my computer chair. It's rather comfy. And if I sit down and I hop on here and I get involved in wherever, I'm not going anywhere. I'm stuck here until somebody makes me move. And that was happening to me a lot when I was like commuting from the city when I used to work there in a restaurant. Is I would come home, I would like be like, hey, gotta go to the gym for like 6 p.m. because that's my workout. If I get home, like I just did like a 10-hour shift, I'm tired. I'm just gonna like chill here for a minute before I go to the gym, and then it's all over. I'm already sat down, like I'm not getting up for the rest of the night. Before I know it, it's like 10 o'clock, I gotta go to bed, work in the morning, and then it's around and around to go. If you cut out that middleman and just set yourself up so that like you're just going there on the way, you're gonna save yourself time and gas by commuting, and you're also gonna make sure that you go. And that's really just like the bottom line, right? Just getting in there. It's the hardest part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, preparation's huge. Like I said, I think these will all bleed over to each and every single one of them. But yeah, preparing your week overall, and I think we'll have a whole podcast on owning your Sundays, right? And that's going to be exactly about how to prepare for the week for everything, from travel to food to training. But Brett is 100% right. You want to prepare clothes. You want to make every barrier from getting you to the gym from work as smooth as possible. The more things that you have to think about and put together is going to stop you from achieving your goals of getting to the gym, building some muscle tone, losing some of that fat. So in this case, please prepare your clothes the night before or even earlier than that. So when you wake up in the morning, you don't have to think about it. It's already set. And then when you finish work, you can just go if you're going at night. Okay, 1,000% in that regard. Because you really don't have two main choices. Yes, there actually is a middle choice, which is, if you're working in the city and then they also have a, office gym, then it's like, yeah, you could bring your clothes and work out in the middle of the day. Absolutely. I actually do recommend that for some of my clients. I do have that luxury. I just know that a lot of these guys that we talk to, they're just like, oh, we work all freaking day and it's like super hard to like even move outside my office. No problem. The whole point is that we can absolutely do that. And I think the last one, we always got to talk about movement. So in terms of step count, you just got to find a way to walk, right? Like commuting to work, it's like the average person drives to work, comes home, and that's basically it. And then besides what? Going to the kitchen, going to the bathroom, some meetings. We're talking 4,000 steps at most, right? To get to 10,000, that's a lot longer. So instead of me telling you, hey, just walk outside for an hour and a half deliberately, what I tell people is try to set alarms around times that you're normally not busy. And when you have that free extra time, it's like, yeah, take a walk at even an hour lunch legally, take 30 minutes or even longer than that to go take a walk. Put on your podcast like this one and go take a walk. You have a water break, fill up your water bottle. If it's too cold outside or if it's raining, walk around the office. Just basically do something. Basically what you see around you at your 9 to 5 is the culmination of people who are just not fit. So if they think you're weird for walking around the office, well, look at them. Do you want to be them? No, you don't. Why? Because they're probably overweight and they're looking at you weird. When in reality, you're the one that's trying to better yourself. So you should be looking at them weird. Bang. All right, 9 to 5ers. Okay. Anything else You want to touch up on 9 to 5ers in terms of setting up their just general lifestyle?
Not for 9 to 5ers specifically, no. I
Okay.
think they're
So
okay.
the next one, the work from home. Okay. So we are very fond of this one right now because, well, I work from home and then Brett's wife works from home. So, what are some tips on lifestyle that you would give for work from home?
So working from home is hard. The reason why I think it's hard is because like you don't have that break from your work environment. So like if you work from home, you know, the entire time and you aren't going to an office, well, it's probably like a lot better for your mental health, and it does save on time for commuting. You don't really get that like that sense of removal or that forced break from the monotony of it. You're always kind of in the same work zone. Like a couple clients I have that work from home, just kind of like they don't move enough. They're like I'll see people getting like 2,000-3,000 steps a day, and I'm just like, man, like I know you work from home. You didn't have to get up and go to an office building and walk around the floor for the entire time, so you just didn't do it. But like that's the biggest thing to change. So I think going back to like, just setting alarms, to get up and walk around like during those times when you're not super busy at work, I think it's tremendous. I also think that like you should be like taking long walks after every meal because you have that hour lunch break. No, if you're taking an hour lunch break and eating the entire time, you're eating too much. That's my hot take. I'm sorry. And so take the other half hour and make sure you just get out there and just go for trips. Beyond that, just like having, I think like honestly work from home stuff is just like having your meals prepped ahead of time is I think like the number one thing for me, period. This goes for everybody. I feel like it's very generic, but like more so from work from home people. It's just like having your meals prepared ahead of time so that in the moment when you're starving, you're never just like, what should I do? I gotta cook food, or I could like order a whole pizza and eat it myself. And like just having it there and removing that like if that's the easiest option you have is eating your healthy thing that you already had made, that's going to be what you go for when you're starving, right? Not ordering a pizza. Having, like, making it easier for yourself to eat the healthy meals by just having them, like, set ahead of time is just, like, the best possible thing you can do. One of my clients, Krishna, who just eats factor meals, meal prep service, he's, like, on diet 100% of the time. He'll, like, err here and there just because, like, he goes out and enjoys his life. But like when he's home, like he's never out here ordering like an entire pizza pie just because he feels hungry. He's just like, oh, I'm a little peckish. Factor meal for the day. Boom. 500 calories, 600 calories, whatever it is, and then he's just back to it. There's no like huge opportunity for him to really make those dietary mistakes because he has everything set up in such a way that he can just default to that. Like that's just an easy fallback.
Yeah, those are awesome, right? I think that's the biggest thing for work from home is it's actually the removal of temptation is really what work from home people are going to be dealing with the most, and then also moving. So I guess we have to break down each one of them. So in terms of movement, oh man, this is the biggest one because I think most of my clients are work from home. So the big problem that we deal with here is step count, movement in general. The biggest takeaway for these people is having a stand-up desk where that goes up and down, or like something that makes sure that you can bring everything up, and also having either a walking pad of some sort or a under the desk cycle. Okay, the reason why is because you're just sitting there all day. Yeah, like, sure, some of you might be like, oh well, Chris, I stand. It's like, good for you. You're not moving except for your fingers. So to actually get some movement in, I recommend during meeting calls, even if you're on camera, just walk at a 1.5 speed so it doesn't look like you're doing anything crazy. Now, a really cool hack that I found out with these guys was a lot of times people aren't actually working 8 hours a day. Like, yeah, sure, they have meetings, let's say, for 3. They're working like another 2 or 3, but like there's usually like an hour or two in between where like they can dilly-dally. Well, guess what? If your walking pad is always set up, whether it's underneath your desk or it's in your living room and you want to watch some TV or you want to just relax or chill, guess what? Have it set up. Every time you walk past it and you have free time, walk on it for 20 minutes. Right? Almost set the trigger. So if you see it, you pass it, you got time, nail it. So there's no apprehension. There's no, oh, I have to set it up. Oh, I don't feel like turning on the this button and that. No. It's just literally you see it, you got time, hit it, go. Right? Least barrier to entry in that regard. And then some people really do just sit at their desk. I do have some cybersecurity guys. An under the desk cycle makes it so easy. You can just sit there for hours on end pedaling away, and you actually will break a sweat as you're doing it. So if you're on meeting calls or if you're on call for a job that like cybersecurity, it makes sense to do under the desk cycle and just kick away for hours on end, like maybe 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, but you're not like nobody will see you moving, and you can still do your job diligently. When you're walking, it's like you probably can't actually work to your best ability if you're walking past the 1.5 speed. So that's like the biggest thing, which is for movement. And then I'd say, dude, food, it's 100% environment. Just do not have any food that you are tempted to eat. Okay? For me, growing up, it was Cheez-Its and ice cream. So I never have those in the house unless my girlfriend wants it. And even so, it's only servings for her because I won't eat it. It's hers. Okay, so it's like delegated away. But the whole point is you have to set yourself up so it is so hard to get your favorite foods. For example, living in the city, it's easy to still get your food. You just walk outside, but think about it. If you're on the couch and you're like, hey, I'm craving something, you still have to put on your shoes, put on some clothes. Well, I just walk around my boxers. And then actually step outside, grab your wallet, then go, pay for it, and come back. That's like 7 barriers. Whereas if you had ice cream in your freezer every single day, well, guess what? I'm grabbing that Haagen-Dazs and I'm ripping that bad boy. And there you go. That's another 800 calories that you didn't account for because you had convenience. Okay, so eliminate everything that you do not need in your diet. And if you want it, allow yourself to go get it. But never keep it in the house. Ever. I mean, ever. Well, that's the easiest way. And then training. So I think training is actually the easy. I think this is the easiest one. So for work from home people, what do you do with their training? Because I think it's actually the easiest one.
Oh man, I mean, like, so it's really not like anything. There's no barriers to entry for work from home training, right? Like, it's really just like defining a strict time when they go per week, just like having them hard commit to a certain time of day, where there's like, hey, set an alarm. Once the alarm goes off, you go to the gym. Period. Just like, half an hour after work, whatever it is, whatever time they need to like wind down from work at home, is just like when this alarm goes off, cool, it's go time. You have to go. Just like having that like almost like, I don't want to say Pavlovian response to it kind of thing, like a little dog whistle, no, or like a little bell, no, not quite. But like, it's really just like defining when is a good time and holding to it. In my experience, it's just like if you make the time, you set it aside, put it on your calendar. Just like set a time when have an alarm go off, whatever you need to do, just like committing that block of time to it, and like when that time comes, you go to the gym, no excuses. That's really the big thing, right? The only barrier for work from home, in my experience, is just like because you're not going to the office, you don't have that easy out from your apartment or from your house where you're traveling, and you can go and have that segue and hit the gym on the way home or on the way to, depending on the human being you are. It's just like you have to make the time separately. But that's really all there is to it.
100%. Basically, I think you block off the time. So if you have meetings or things that you're planned in your calendar, make sure you block off time. Saying, like, I know for yourself, you can word it and then make sure that when your boss or employers see it, it's just not available because they think it's probably another meeting or something like that. So blocking it off in your calendar makes it easier so they can't book anything in that. And then, yeah. So then once you plan that out, you just go. That's it. Like, there's no excuses to go. I think for work from home people, a lot of them on the other side saying like, hey, it's hard for me to leave my computer. In which case, I honestly think this is what we do for our clients. And this makes it way easier. I just know it's not healthy with the whole work from home balance of relationship, like we were mentioning earlier. But the only equipment you need if you work from home and want to stay near the computer are these things: adjustable dumbbells, bands of different resistances, maybe an anchor point attachment to a door, so you can do like almost like any cable motion that you want, a pull-up bar, so you can do, whether it be pull-ups, and if you can't do pull-ups yet, you can tie a band to the top and sit underneath it to do vertical pulling, maybe sliders or a towel, and then from there it's maybe like a yoga mat and maybe a physio ball. right? Like those are the only things you need. And you're like, okay, well, Chris, that's like crazy. That's like only like 7 items. And that the most expensive thing is the adjustable dumbbells, which, at most is like 500, 400, $500, and you'll keep it for the rest of your life as long as you're not an idiot dropping it on your own floor, which I doubt you will. But if you have all those things, you can get great results. I'm not joking. Working from home, you're working out twice per week. You just go balls to the walls with those things, and then an adjustable bench. You're good. You're good to go. You don't have to leave your computer. You can stay right there. And to be fair, if you're the person that's like, man, I'm literally like back to back to back to back, this is what I would do for you guys. You can actually do one superset, go right back to work. I'm not even joking. So it's like if you have 30-minute blocks in between, you can easily do, let's say, chest press, and then into a row, right? You go right back into work. Then it's like, oh, you have another block of time that's open? Bang. All right, let's do some squats, and let's do some hamstring curl sliders. Boom. Then you got another block somewhere else, bicep curls, skull crushers. Voila. There's literally no excuse. There's literally the only excuse that's in your head is if you do not want to do this. That's it. Like, we were giving you the keys to the kingdom here. I literally just laid out what you actually need, and even an example workout for you guys to do if you work from home. There's literally no excuse. Zero. Absolute zilch. But anything else for the work from home guys in terms of lifestyle? We got nutrition, we got their movement, we got their training. Anything else on top of your head?
I don't think so. I think we're good.
Okay. And the travelers as the last one. All right. What are some nutrition, training, and lifestyle tips for the guys who travel consistently?
Traveling's tough. It's just like, I think the number one thing when you're traveling is going to be diet, right? Like, end of the day, like traveling is, it's tough for training. Training is like you have your loose program, but like it's never going to be exactly the same. I'm really picky. Anyone who knows me at the gym knows that like I will not use certain barbells. I don't like them. I have reasons I don't like them, but it's just like, I just doesn't vibe with me. But like, so for me, traveling from gym to gym is just like, it's kind of unfortunate because every gym has different equipment. Everything feels different. Even if something is the exact same piece of equipment as the gym you come from, it might not have the same like force curves. It might not have the same like maintenance level where it's not as smooth, or it's smoother than the other one is. It just feels off and funky. So like, starting there, just like just training wise, it's making the most of it. It's just like you're at a new gym every single time you work out, which sucks, but. You need to just use your best judgment and just trust what your body says about it. If you're in here and if you do curls with 20-pound dumbbells at your home gym, but you're at another gym and you're doing curls and 20 pounds feel real heavy, trust they're just weighted differently. Something's going on. It's just a little funky. Go with the 17s, go with the 15s, whatever you need to do. Just like make the adjustments in the moment. If the weights on a cable machine don't feel like they do feel heavier, go a little lighter. If they feel lighter, go a little heavier. Just stick to the rep ranges and use your best ability to feel out what is challenging in the moment, because nothing's ever going to feel the same. It's always going to be a little bit weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially so traveling and training is definitely one of the hardest ones in terms of the barriers, right? What Brett's saying is you gotta just adjust every single time you hit a different gym. Like, yes, you have benchmarks generally speaking, but one bar versus another bar at a different hotel is gonna be different. A Smith machine is gonna feel different than another Smith machine, and a dumbbell is gonna feel different with another dumbbell at another state, country, because they get different companies, different suppliers. So in this cases, you want to make sure that you just keep the base principles correct. So whatever the rep range is, that you're going hard in those rep ranges, right? With the weight that makes it hard in that rep range, and that's it. Like, don't overthink it in that regard. Just make sure you train, you're like, holy crap, I only had 1 or 2 left at most in the tank for most of these exercises, and you're good to go. Now, what I would say, though, is the people who don't have, let's say they don't have a gym in a hotel, right? And I think this is where, like, you're at home, basically the equipment that you mentioned at home, you want to bring as well. So, like, the anchor to the door, the resistance bands, and then maybe, like, sliders. But that's exactly what I tell people to bring when they're at these work events, business meetings. They have to go to hotels, Airbnbs, and you can still get, push-ups in. You can still do band rows, attach it to the door anchor because usually the hotel doors are very strong. hamstring sliders, so you can do abs on those. You can do curls, bands. You can do bicep curls and tricep extensions. The whole point is that you have to make the most out of it. But just know if you have the basics of the equipment, then you can do all these on the go. There's basically no excuses. If you have the gym, that's luxury, honestly, at that point. Because most of these places are just like, yeah, they don't have the greatest equipment on average.
They're gym-like.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, it's mostly cardio. It's actually centered around cardio. And then they have like maybe some dumbbells and machines, like on the average. So it's usually not like all weights. And then like, oh, they have like, grandma's treadmill from 1930.
Yeah. If you got dumbbells going up to like 40 pounds and an adjustable bench, like you're kind of just set. I don't think there's a single human being out there who can't get a great workout for most of their body with like lighter weight dumbbells and anything they can maneuver to position differently.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's a little bit of being creative, just like having the will to do it. Like, I like my gym. My gym has like all these nice things. We have dumbbells going up to 120. We have, a bunch of different barbells. We have like different. We have a turf. We have a sled. We have like sandbags. We have all this stuff now, right? Like, which is all super cool. But like, end of the day, if I go away somewheres, I don't have all these nice things. Like, if you give me like one adjustable bench and like dumbbells up to 50, like I will get an absolutely amazing workout. It's just not as enjoyable.
It's very high reps. That's what it is. It's very.
Oh
high
yeah,
rep.
I'm just gonna. It's high reps. It's making the movements more disadvantageous. Like I'm probably gonna go for like a fly rather than a press because like if I'm doing a press, like then either I'm doing like sets of like 25, which is honestly more annoying than anything else, or like why wouldn't I just like for a dumbbell fly, just like going all the way out there, getting a huge stretch at the bottom because the weight's so far away from your person. You have like very poor leverages out there, which is like way more force on the muscle, things of that nature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, as for training, I think also traveling is definitely one of the hardest, but nutrition. So this is the big one, and for nutrition, here's how we kind of break this down. It's harder in the beginning because you don't have the foundations down, right? You're just learning how to I want to eat healthier. I want to try this and that. Here's the hard part about this. Let's say you're not prepared, okay? And you go out there and you basically eat every single meal out, okay? I highly recommend doing this. Skip breakfast because you're going to want to save a lot of those calories that you don't know are in the food. Because then when you go for your business meeting or corporate lunch, usually it's between what? They usually have like a salad portion, a subs portion, usually like Indian, Chinese, or Italian, like very basic stuff in that regard. And guess what? They make it taste good, so they add a lot of oils, seasonings, sauces in there. They don't care about how many calories are in there. So when you're out there, your biggest thing is actually to portion control. And also just stay away from as much of the fluff calories or calories that are just not protein and fiber. Okay? So a good one's like chicken shawarma. It's like, yes, it's already loaded with a bunch of sauce and seasoning, whatever. But if you just primarily just eat the chicken and none of the rice that comes with it or any of the bread, the naan, that whatever it is, the roti, trust me, you're saving yourself a lot of calories just by doing that. And that's just the example on the Indian side. Like what happens about like subs. It's like you can get a 6-inch, 8-inch sub, and just take away 80%, like just only eat one part of the bread and shift all the toppings from one half to the other side, and you just saved yourself like 200 calories right there, 300 calories, right? But the principle applies. That's how you navigate everything going out to eat with these guys that are traveling all the time, especially for dinner. Dinner is like the hardest one because imagine you're at a business dinner, and then they're trying to wine and dine you, so you're like drinking alcohol. You're trying to make a sale, make a good relationship. So you don't want to be the person that's like, oh, I don't want that glass of wine. I don't want, they're ordering appetizers, right? And you're trying not to be that guy and be rude. But when you're there, it's the same principle. It's like order some lean protein. Most restaurants will have fish, chicken, leaner steaks like filet mignon or sirloin and stuff of that nature. And then just make sure that you don't eat a lot of the carbs, like less than half of the carbs of your hand. And then try to prioritize veggies with there too. Maybe in between protein snacks. Like that's it. That's like when you're traveling, like those are the rules you play by. Like that's it. Because after that, Everything you're ordering is going to be way higher in calories. If you're trying to lose fat while traveling, basically 2 palm sizes of meat, remove half the carbs, and try to get some fiber in. Have protein snacks in between lunch and dinner, and then dinner, same thing. 2 palm sizes of meat. Try to mitigate all the fluff calories from appetizers, French fries, the sides of any sort, and try to order some veggies. That's your best bet. That's what I got.
Yeah, man, it's just like dying when you're away is like so hard. You just like it's it's really the illusion of not having control, right? Like I get this all the time. People will go on trips and they're just like, hey man, I was away. I didn't have a choice. I had to eat like this. I like look it over and I'm just like, you made like the worst possible decisions at every single instance of like wherever you had a decision tree to make. Like it's not like you always have a degree of control. Like 100%, if you're going away, you don't have perfect control, right? Like if you're like, hey, I'm trying to do like let's take the most extreme example. Let's say you're like a competitive athlete. Let's say you're in bodybuilding show prep. You need to be like mind-bogglingly lean. Like you need to have like veins in your abs kind of lean. And from there, like if you're going away, like you're just not going to be able to maintain that unless you're bringing your meal prep with you. But like you can always make better decisions than the ones you are making, right? Like no one makes the best decision at every point in time. If you're going out and you're just like, hey, I'm out. I may as well have my, my garlic parmesan fries and my ribeye steaks and my like pork belly bao buns that are being served at this Italian restaurant for some reason. That kind of thing. Like you're making mistakes. Like you are walking into the obvious traps, and like there's always better options. There's always things you can do. And I'm not saying don't have any fun. I'm not saying limit yourself entirely because that's not healthy either. But like for you as your mental capacity as an individual, you need to be having these things once in a while to maintain your sanity. But just like within reason. If you're on a strict weight loss diet, if you're really trying to get that weight off, and you're going out and you're having like a giant pile of French fries just because like the guys that like took you out there for your business dinner said so, then like you're just not trying hard enough. I really think that is like you had better choices to make. You could have done something different. You don't have to have the worst possible option at any point in time just because it's there.
Yeah, 100%. The biggest difference is I think people just don't know what they don't know, and then that's the first one. Then two is then they're after that, then they are just ignorant at that point
Yep.
because we're telling you now, business dinners, traveling all around, you can easily map this out. Any restaurant across all cultures, 2 palm sizes of meat, okay, or try to get about that much, lean proteins of any sort. Order some veggies if possible, and then any of the carbs, so from potatoes, french fries, rice, I don't care which one it is, cut it in half or even less than that. Okay? So that's still a lot of range. I'm not telling you you can't have your french fries. I'm not telling you you can't have onion rings, right? I'm not saying anything like that. It was just more of try to mitigate that as much as possible because at the end of the day, we're trying to bring up protein and bring down calories. And what do those provide? None of those. Just pure calories at that point and from carbs mostly. So we're just saying have a healthy balance. Like, yes, you're going to want to go to these restaurants and they will have like the greatest molten lava cake or like the best flan. I don't freaking know. But the whole point is like you can have a bite of it, you can enjoy it, but just make sure that you prioritize what we were saying earlier so you can still be on this weight loss journey. Okay? And these are the guys that travel all the time, especially like flying. Okay? But in terms of people who are like driving around, these types of corporate men, like salesmen basically, then what happens if you're going out to eat all the time, like what, like fast food? Well, guess what? Fast food has such great options. It's just pre-planning. Anytime you look at the menu, you want to try to find things or combinations of things that are close to, we say, 1 to 10 in terms of protein to calories or 1 to 20. Okay? I mean, I think our favorite ones as coaches giving to our clients is like Chick-fil-A. Easy.
Yeah.
Cane's chicken, awesome. And for the Midwesterners, you have Chipotle, Kava. Like all these places have so much great options that you can manipulate to where it have great flavor, great taste. And guess what? All you're doing is what? removing a lot of the fluff, the cheese, the sour cream, a lot of the rice. That's it. But you're still having the chicken, the salsas, all that great stuff. So it's always possible, but it's knowing these options ahead of time so you don't have to think about it and you just go. Anything else for these guys?
Not really. Just like traveling's tough. If you travel frequently, it's really hard, and eventually you just kind of make those hard choices to get you where you need to go, regardless. But like, I have a really hard time begrudging people who travel once in a while, and just like because they're not prepared for it, they're just like they step outside the boundaries a little bit. That's all. But no, I'm good on it. I don't think I have anything else for traveling crowds.
Yeah, and to be fair, we're talking about the guys who travel for work, right? The lifestyles around it. The difference between that and people who vacation or people who are going away for like a week or two is that that week or two is kind of like the mental break of all this. So we actually recommend to maintain and just maintain the habits of generally eating healthy, generally. But if you're on a weight loss diet and your lifestyles are involved around traveling, then we do have to build these habits up of what we just mentioned before. That's the big clarification. Otherwise, some people were like, "Oh my God, these guys are like, oh, I have to eat grilled chicken from Chick-fil-A every single day, and I can never have French fries, and like I want a Wendy's ice. God, what are those things called again? Frosties. That's how long it's been since I've had it. But yes, okay. So these are your best environmental tips to set you up for success for corporate desk workers. If you're enjoying this podcast so far, please share it with a friend. All right, back to the show. Actually, we were supposed to fly back to New Jersey today. And lo and behold, Elias develops an ear infection. So we had to get prescribed amoxicillin and didn't sleep all night. Hence why I was mumbling my words about 10 seconds ago, because I didn't get any sleep either with Alyssa as well.
Fucking exhausted. That's valid.
That's why I'm all over the place in my head. But in this case, I'm just glad it's just an ear infection. It could have been way worse, right? He actually just got knocked up with a bunch of drugs through the needle. So that's why it could have been. But yeah, so I don't even know if I'm going to make this wedding. I'm going to show up literally at 3 o'clock on the flight and then drive home. And then we're going to be like, all right, do we go to this wedding or not? Like, this is going to be game time.
It's going to be like that point in the ceremony where they're like, does anyone object to this union? And you just like burst in. You're just like, I'm just looking for my seat. And that's going to be the whole thing.
It might be.
Like dramatic sighs like ripple through the audience. Like, and just like, I'm just late. I'm sorry.
Yeah, honestly, it might be. I mean, he's like the Kool-Aid man breaks through the side of the wall. Oh yeah,
just like right through a pane glass window. Oh shit.
Yeah, it might be because I mean, like that is tight timing. Like listen to this, right? Landing at 2 o'clock, which means let's say we get home, like baggage, everything, drive home 3 o'clock. The ceremony's at 5-ish, which means I have to drive home from the airport, get home through almost traffic hour, then drive back up about 45 minutes. Right, like it's like the tightest window of all time. Not saying hi to any of my family, so that's why I was like, man, this is gonna be. I might just tell like the bride and groom, like I'm like, hey, I can't make the ceremony, but I'll be there for the reception. Like that's actually what might happen. So,
probably.
But that's the hard part, because then like it's just a matter of if she trusts my parents to take care of the baby when he's a little sick, which is a little tough. So.
Yeah.
That's basically how today went overall.
Yeah, that's rough. Oh God, I feel like my clients at the gym are falling apart. Like, I just got a text from one of my guys today that he's like, apparently he had a panic attack. It's like sitting at his fucking desk, he just like had a panic attack, like 180 beats per minute heart rate, whatever the fuck it was. He was like, yeah, I wasn't doing anything. It was just like, bang. I was like, okay. See you Saturday. Doctor. It was like I was reading through. It was like, yeah, doctor said it was nothing to worry about. And I was like, cool, see you there. Bye. I had one guy get a concussion playing volleyball. Yeah, he jumped for a ball. So did his friend. Took an elbow to the side of the head and just like he got a concussion. And I was like, okay, like get a little roughed up. That happens. That sucks, but it is what it is. And I was like, so like that was like a month ago. And he's like, yeah, I'm in PT and all this other shit. I was like, what the fuck happened? Holy shit. He just like, and then I had another guy who just out of nowhere has had a hydrocelectomy. Yeah. There is a small fluid-filled mass near the testicles that had to get removed. Didn't tell me a word about it. Kind of had it. And I was like, what? I'm like, why is all my people dying? What is going on? What is this?
Maybe it's something in the air. So, okay, couple questions already.
Yes.
Panic attack. So
Yeah.
does this person just normally have, or is mentally like just hard on themselves, or have lots going on, interpret stress terribly?
I think so. Going off of just generic. His name is I'm not gonna say his full name. But his name is But the point is, he is of Asian heritage, so I'm pretty sure he has like the traditional strict Chinese parents to go along with that. So he probably
Ah,
just like I don't know how well he deals with it.
quite
But
familiar.
he seems pretty stressed out. He's a bit of a people pleaser. He doesn't like he'll try to like make things work for everybody at his work, for me, for whatever. Just even though if it puts him in like a stressed out position, and it's just a lot. I think
Mm.
yeah, and also he's been having whenever we squat, he will get very very out of breath. More so than usual. Like you should be a little out of breath if you're squatting heavy and hard enough, right? And he likes to he tries to do like a little bit of powerlifting. He wants to get stronger primarily. So like we squat, we bench, we deadlift kind of thing. But like squatting and deadlifting, like they can really take it out of him. And he'll just be like just gasping for air, well beyond what I think is like really appropriate. Uh, but yeah,
Interesting. Maybe he needs to work on. I mean, yes. Besides setting boundaries,
yes,
it sounds like physiologically, maybe some breathing, just some basic breathing. Maybe have him just do some diaphragmatic breathing with you, and just tell him to practice like diaphragmatic breathing. Maybe the the four method, which is inhaling, exhaling, holding breath on both sides for 4 seconds. Um, just stuff like that, like very basic stuff, nothing fancy. But it sounds like, yeah, it sounds like he's holding and tensing a lot of his stress into his body overall.
yes, yeah,
Ooh, God bless me. It sounds like everybody's dying.
yeah. He's a great guy though. Guy is like really fun to work with. He's hilarious, but like, yeah, I know what's going on with him as far as that goes.
What would you say has got to be one of the archetype of person or a client that you've had? Like, what was the worst one that you've ever had? Don't no names, but like the archetype of the person or personality.
Um, the worst archetype of individual I've worked with was so they were a school teacher. They taught, I believe, elementary level education. And this person, who I saw like well after my traditional time, I think I was seeing this person later at night, around a time when I had like multiple 5 a.m. clients. So I was like really making an exception. Is they took the opportunity to be very childish and non-cooperative. Because they spent all day, being the strict person, and they wanted to cut loose a little bit. So they were just like very going against the grain and would try to be, and like said they enjoyed it, and they enjoyed making it difficult for me to do things. And I was like, I don't like you enough for you to say it to me. That's fucking crazy. um, but yeah, I think that was it as far as like what like really stood out to me. I don't know. I feel like I've been more or less like very blessed with my clientele. Like most of my clients have been amazing people. They come to work and I tell them that I'm just like, yeah, man, you walk through those doors with me, and like we're here to fucking work. We're not here to phone it in. Like whatever you have today, like we're gonna put that on the table, and that's just gonna like just how it is. If we're trying to like be better than the you were yesterday, and most people have resonated with that. That guy just wanted to phone it in. He would do things with like 4 or 5 reps in reserve and be like, I'm done. And I'm just like, that's not even remotely hard enough. Like, if you are trying to develop, like, bare minimum 2 reps from failure, that's what you're looking at. Like, you can't be, like, that far distance from your failure point and say you had a hard working set. This is not what that means, like, in the, technical definition of the term in this. Like, if you do something and you do it for 10 reps, for one set and you tell me it's hard, the next set I just push you a little bit more and you do like 15, 16, 20 reps or something crazy, then like by the definition of the terms, like the first set was not hard whatsoever. Like just
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah. Just okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's the intensity of effort was low. Their attitude wasn't there. Just not at the
Yeah.
right place, right mindset. Yeah.
Yeah.
definitely had those.
People who give pushback for the sake of giving pushback and not because, like, or people who didn't, who agree to my terms of, like, working hard and whatever, and just, like, trying to, like, push against that the entire time. Like, we're not here to be the same person as we were yesterday. We're here to be better, so.
Goddamn right.
Yeah.
Goddamn right. But I actually was thinking about this the other day. I was like, why is it called Canadian bacon? I'm not even joking. I was like,
Um,
it like came up on my feet. I was like, hey, I'm eating this Canadian bacon every day now. And I was like, oh, why? Where are they? Is this only in Canada?
nope. I don't know why it's called Canadian bacon. I think it's called Canadian bacon because, like, I believe. I think I'm pulling this out of my ass. I think I heard it somewhere, but whatever. Anyways, it's just like a fattier part of the pig, which like is better for storing body fat during like longer Canadian winters. So it's just like more utilized in Canada than in the U.S. Although in Canada, we don't call it Canadian bacon. Obviously, we call it back bacon because that's where it comes from. It's the back of the pig that we're like cutting up. Uh, so calling it Canadian bacon is definitely an American thing, and I really don't know where you guys got it from. Uh,
Well, here's what ChatGPT says since we don't have a Jamie like Joe Rogan does yet. So,
oh,
so it goes. Origin of the name: the late 1800s, pork was imported from Canada to the U.S., particularly lean smoked pork loins. The American butchers and food producers started calling this product Canadian bacon to distinguish it from fattier strips of American style bacon, in which people call bacon in the U.S. The name stuck in American culinary vocabulary, even though Canadians don't typically use the term themselves. Crazy.
yeah.
And then what it actually is, Canadian bacon is pork loin. It's leaner, it's cured, and often smoked, sliced into round medallions. Yep, that's the same one I get at Costco. And it's closer to what's called back bacon. There you go. And then what Canadians call it, just pea-meal bacon. Wow, I would never have guessed that,
Yep.
ever. Or back bacon by itself. But this term is exclusively only for Americans. So it's an American invention. Crazy.
Yep. That makes sense.
But I've been eating that nonstop, actually. It's been very convenient. Even, yes, everybody's going to be like, oh, pork is terrible. Like, PETA's on this, now, and be like, oh, this is terrible. You kill animals. Hold on. Look, I'm Chinese. All we did was eat pork, okay?
Yeah, dude. Like,
That's all we did.
that's basically it, right?
And yet they're one of the healthiest people alive. So I don't want to hear it. It's probably not the pork that's terrible. It's probably the way it's raised in the U.S. But at least with Canadian bacon, dude, I didn't even realize how lean it was, though. Like, it's 60 calories per serving, and it's about 12 grams of protein.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. That's fucking
It's
wild.
very lean. Yeah, it's very dry, obviously, but what I mean by that is, I'm not joking. When I tell people, and we're gonna get into this, but a lot of the corporate guys actually tell them to eat like prepared meats. So whether it be, I usually obviously recommend like no nitrates, no nitrites because of preservatives and whatnot, and the way it's made for health reasons. But listen how convenient this is. If I do like 6 to 12 slices of Canadian bacon, load that bitch up from top to bottom with lettuce, tomato, all the veggies you want, maybe some whatever seasoning and sauce that you like. We're talking 40 something grams of protein and maybe 350, 400 calories. Like it's like this big of a sandwich usually if I make it with Canadian bacon.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah, and it's at Costco and it's very cheap. It's like less than $2 a
I'm
pound.
doing this bulk all wrong. What is wrong with me? Or I'm doing this cart all wrong. Fuck, I should be doing that. Damn it! I'm like, oh god. I'm at that point in the cut where like I'm started like a week and a half ago now. I'm down about like 5 pounds, give or take, and I'm just like, I feel so flat and I'm so weak, and I lost like, leverage and poundage off my fucking incline bench, and I'm just like, and no one's told me I'm big yet, so I'm just like, I'm fucking. It's the worst part. It gets better once you get like that point where you get leaned out enough. People are like, hey, like you're looking fucking big, and I'm just like, thanks. I'm smaller than I've been in 10 months. But up until that point, like, shit is fucking hard. It's hard out here.
Yeah, there's a name for it. I forgot what it's called that the bodybuilders term it. But yes, there's like this gap where you diet down. So usually after you lose like, let's just say you start at 20% body fat, or where you have like no more than a 2-pack at most, there's like this middle point where you are between like 18 and like 15, where you're deflated and going down in weight. So it looks like you just look flat. You feel small, right? People aren't giving you compliments yet. this is for lifters though. Like it's
Yeah.
different if you're just generally overweight and you just need to lose fat, right? This is like
Yeah.
the people who are lifters, generally.
Hmm.
And there is this gap. I forgot the name. It'll come back to me after I watch this. But yes, it happens every single time. And then once you feel back up, it feels great once you hit that lean point every
Yeah.
single time.
Yeah, it's just like I got like probably 4 more weeks of this. I'm just gonna go until like end of the month or until I hit like 166 ish. I'll probably just like turn around there. But like, man, I just can't wait to fucking puff back up a little bit and just feel fucking jacked. Just like fucking 167, 168 with like veins in my fucking shoulders. Fucking.
Start dominance.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Just like immediately cut off all of my work shirts. Just like no, it's all cut offs from now on. For the next like month and a half until I'm too fat to justify this anymore.
It's funny is I've been trying to find different ways for people like myself and also our clients, whatever. But just in general, like a lot of the guys we do end up working with, they just generally don't have very active lifestyle. So yeah, do they go out to restaurants, bars? Yeah, sure. But in terms of like the daily life, it's like we have to tell them to walk or do something. And like I always try to urge people to do some sort of recreational sport of something, right? Just to make it fun, because otherwise you're just sitting on a treadmill walking all day. Which we're actually going to talk about this, but I have now seen the rise of the nerds officially. So pickleball is the rise of the nerds, 100%. Because now all the nerds are laughing at the jocks' faces because the jocks can't play the sport because you can't outrun, outsprint, outpower somebody in pickleball and win consistently. It is
amazing.
a skill sport. So
Yeah.
yeah, one time the athletic guy can do a crazy dive and like nail it to somewhere like, you know what I mean, it's like get to a ball that's almost impossible. But man, when I was playing some of these guys that like wore the glasses, like 6 foot tall, 140 pounds, no muscle, no meat on their bones, and I mean giggling, like the glasses that are like squares, like this big on their face, just beating the shit out of us. I was like, are you kidding me? Like this is the only sport that this can happen where a guy like that can absolutely destroy me because of like just like with just pure skill because they play this because you don't have to run that much. It's just like back and forth, and like timing of going up and down.
I hate it. That
And now I'm
sounds
like
terrible.
determined because I'm a nerd, looks like a jock, and then now it's like, well, now they think I'm a jock, so I gotta make sure I gotta beat these nerds back in submission. But I just noticed as we were playing, I was like, a lot of the clients that we do have were enjoying pickleball because it's very easy, low
Yeah.
barrier to entry, very light on the joints, especially the bigger guys too. Like they don't have to move left to right as much. Like yes, obviously it helps to be leaner, but what are you gonna throw? What are you gonna throw at that point?
Oh God. It's reminded how like every time I hear someone getting hurt, like seriously hurt, it's always doing some random fucking extracurricular sport, like you playing fucking softball. Brad like shredded his fucking knee playing flag football. Like,
Did he really?
ACL, MCL, meniscus.
I'm not. Dude, he did the. That's there's a name for that. There's a name for that. Oh God, it's not the golden.
Just all of it, just the whole fucking knee, just off. This is gone somewheres. He just texted me that out of nowhere one day, like fucking last year after he did it. And I was just like, so is it like attached still? Like what's happening? What did you do?
It's like the trifecta. I forgot. There's a name for it. That I can't remember. I'm sports medicine.
Yeah, it's just like there's like one more ligament there, just like holding on for dear life. The rest of the knee is just dangling. I'm like, what the?
The unhappy triad is what it's called.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I studied this and I was like, why can't I like think on top of my head because I'm also like, not sleep deprived. But yes, unhappy triad is one of the most brutal ones to get. But it also means, but knowing Brad though, he's so quad. This is for anybody listening to this right now. For our 100 viewers out of everywhere in the world. If you don't strengthen your hamstrings, this is very detrimental. This is exactly what happens. The hamstrings help pull back the ACL, especially during moments when you are sprinting and turning. Okay, so if you have very strong quads, so if you're just a general athlete and you just enjoy squatting and pushing a lot more than pulling, which I say is like 95% of all the population that even exercise, not good. You need to have a good balance. I'm telling you this right now because that is exactly what it is. Brad is 1,000% quad dominant. And I could see that happening 1,000 miles forward. And the reason why I strained, it was a grade 2 strain, thankfully. Um, and I've been actually looking more into this. So I was dieting, and I also did legs that day. So I did LBEs or Roman chair extensions as well. So like hamstrings from the hip. Then I did leg curls. So then that was only like 3 hours before the game, right? And then I went to the game to go full sprint. So that is like the worst thing you can do, because if you know anything about sprinting, it is hamstring dominant. Once your foot lands on the front end and then you have to drive that foot into the floor to go faster, that's your hamstrings. And that's how people strain it and tear it, because they don't practice or train it. In this case, it was just more of a workforce, this fatigue management, poor fatigue management. Because I thought I was just superhuman because I worked out all the time. And then I walked like 20,000 steps in Hoboken. And I was like, oh, cool, I can just do whatever I want. And then like, nope. I heard a gunshot pop, and I was, limping to third base in that regard. But poor Brad. I did not know he did that. He was probably out for like 6 months.
Yeah,
Lower
actually,
body
like,
wise.
to his, yeah, he took a lot of time off. It actually wasn't that long. I think it was only like 3 or something. But he just started squatting again recently. I think he's back up to like 185-ish, which is really a testament to just like how strong his knees and his legs were from all the squatting he's done over the course of his life, right? Because like, for context, for those of you who don't know this guy is like probably about like 220-ish, 210, somewhere in that range for body weight. He was squatting 405 like pretty easily for like sets of 5 to 6 pause reps, like twice a week, just like for fun. Very, very strong individual. And I guess like because like my maybe this is just very like gym bro theory, but like because his like knees were under that load for so long consistently, his knees were very easy to like reattach, because they just wanted like all that pulling from the quad to bring those like knees back into position. Probably helped speed his recovery.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point is if you stress out the body comfortably, like, within reason, like obviously if you're overtraining all the time, you're going to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
In this case, Brad, anybody who resistance trains has good bone density, who has strong ligaments that have adapted to resistance training, are way better off. Right? I think the mechanism in which it happened was most likely a plant and twist non-contact, and it's just because his hamstrings weren't as strong as his quads. Right? So it's completely self-induced in the sense of, well, his hamstrings, he just didn't do as much hamstring work. Imagine if you're squatting 405, the benchmark in science right now that I remember is doing about 0.8 to 1. Pushing to pulling. Like, that's crazy. Think about that. So if you're squatting 405, you gotta be pulling 405. Like hinging 405 for like the same, you know what I mean? Like not a full deadlift. We're talking like RDL.
Ooh.
Right?
That's
like,
terrible.
Yeah, that's brutal. That is ruthless. So clearly that's not the case, right? Most people can deadlift more than they squat, depending on their femurs and their arm lengths. But just for context, just for people listening, they're like, holy shit, I didn't realize like I had to really strengthen my hamstrings. Well, most of you guys are sitting down listening to this, desk workers. It's like your hamstrings are probably very weak. You probably don't know how to use them. And that's why half of us that teach this are like, man, we have to practice the hip hinge, which is shooting your butt back to the wall without hurting yourself with your lower back. Your knees have to stay in a certain position. But now you see why it's so important. In this case, he's an athlete, and we just know that with athletes, they just can perform at a level where it just goes boom, and then the next thing you know, it's like ACL, MCL, medial meniscus, the unhappy triad. Who'd have thought? I'm not seeing. I saw that live before. Did I ever tell you this? I saw this live.
Oh, that sounds awful.
At my externship senior year of college, I was under an athletic trainer for the women's soccer team. And during practice, we're all sitting on the gator, which is like a cart basically that carries the water or injured people. We were general practice, general drills, but all of a sudden, all you hear is like a gunshot, and we were like, my athletic trainer knew. I'm over here like freaking out. I'm like, look at all shooting guns over here, and she's like, no, somebody's knee just blew out.
Oh my god!
Like you didn't have to know, like you didn't have to see it. You just once you hear it, she was just sprinting onto the field. Next thing you know, at the moment, it doesn't look like anything. Within about 30 minutes to an hour, the entire thing just like balloons up into.
Oh god!
Like goes from like here and then like to there, especially for a female. It happens a lot more in females than in men. Men only happens when like, yes, after like maybe heavy squats or like lots of damage has been done. For females, it's because like their hips are wider, so like comes in, right, and then it's a whole mechanical thing. But Yeah, it was not pretty sight. I mean, ACL, right? ACL, MCL, medial meniscus is all. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Not fun. Not fun. So do your hamstring work. This is literally what this means. Do your hamstring work. Do it properly. That's all we're trying to get at. Thank you for watching this podcast. If you enjoyed, please subscribe. Follow us on our Instagrams. Mine is Coach_Chris Lee.